Today I'm tying a brown mayfly on a firehole stick, 316, size 10. Got a gold tungsten steel bead head. I'll be putting a lead wire wrap on the body. Try and get this thing really heavy. I'll be using it for check nymphing. Once you get that lead wire secured on there, you clip off any excess thread you have like I do here. Um, I'll be using a different tail than I've ever used before, but as I was going through my turkey bites, there's a really fine, um, it's not near as stiff as the rest of the bites at the bottom of the whole feather. So I plucked those off and I put about 3 of them together. I think they'll make a really nice tail for this mayfly. Um, so I'm going to tie that in here right now, see how it looks. I'll be using a white ultra wire for the rib today. I really like this white paired up against any dark color. Really makes that ribbing pop out nicely. Um, yeah, we'll see how it looks. As I mentioned in another one of my videos, I harvested a turkey last October. This is one of the tail feathers. I'll be using it for the back and wing casing today. It's such an awesome material to use for that. If you're using any synthetics, those work great too, but I really recommend trying out these turkey feathers because they have such a great natural look to them. Once you get your turkey feather or whatever back material you're using tied in, it's time for the body. I'll be using a chocolate brown and chocolate brown ice dub um, mixed together. Just a little bit of the dub or the ice dub mixed in with the standard dubbing gives it a good look. Not too shiny, but something that could maybe catch a fish's eye a little easier. Um, I'll dub that probably to where I stopped the lead wrap, maybe one wrap above that. Um, Trying to shoot for a little over halfway up the hook, maybe just shy of a third. And yeah, next we'll tie our back over top there, hold it down with a wrap or two of thread. Could just hold it and wrap it down with the wire as well, but it's nice to have that thread hold it into place for you sometimes. Um, I never really count how many wraps I do on the body. It differs from fly to fly, but try and pick something that looks nice. I know mayflies have smaller sections in between their ribs, so I try and wrap them a little bit tighter. So now we'll tie in some legs. Use that same piece of turkey bite we're using for the tail. Just grab a little higher up on the piece and try and find some stiffer pieces. That tail was tied with some pretty flimsy ones, which is great for the mayfly tail, but I like my legs to be a little stiffer and stick out more. Once you get the legs tied in, all the excess trimmed, grab some of that same dubbing you're using on the back half of the fly. Make up a little ball covering where you just tied those legs in. Try and butt it up right against those ribs if you can. Get it nice and tight there and just shape that body. Decide how big you want that ball, but I always make it a little bigger than what I just tied. Gives it a nice tapered look. Once you have that little ball tied in there, throw another set of legs on there with those same turkey bites. I like my bugs really leggy. I'll probably put another set after these ones even. Just give it that real buggy, leggy look. I never tie flies very quickly. I try and take my time, make sure the legs are in there straight and I'm happy with them. Same with when you're cutting these excess off. It's getting a little tight near this bead now, but make sure you don't clip one of the legs by mistake. I've done that before, trying to rush through a fly. I find it's better just take your time and go easy at it. I'll put another ball of dubbing here. Just cover up where I just tied those in and extend that body a little further. Once I do that, I'll put one more set of legs tied right up, touching that bead, and they'll pop out real nicely tied up against that bead. Once you get that last pair of legs tied in there, flip over that turkey feather, get that wing casing tied in there. Once you get it secured down, trim off the excess. Still a big piece. You probably get another 2 or 3 flies tied out of that piece, so don't just throw it in your scrap pile. I like to do a whip finish at this stage, just in case the collar for some reason ever falls off or gets chewed up by fish. Kind of gives you a second chance at the fly, because where it's at right now, still catch fish. It's still a good looking fly. I hate to see a chewed up fly unravel all the way just because a couple threads around the collar broke. For the collar of this thing, I'll be using that same ice dubbing that I was using on the body. I just put about a 1-to-1 ratio instead of that small ratio I was doing before. Make it really shiny on the collar. I like to make it real thick because I'll brush it out after. Also giving it a nice leggy look. They look really good in the water when that collar's kind of brushed out, encasing the fly. Looks great. So now just do a couple whip finishes, whatever you do to finish your fly off. I always make sure to do a couple whip finishes, just that extra added security. I don't think it affects the fly's look very much by doing an extra one. Yeah, then I'll take my wire brush and brush it out nicely. Maybe pluck off any excess hairs that I don't like the look of. But other than that, it's a done fly. Put a dab of head cement on the threads, and you're ready to fish. Thanks for watching.